Hi, this is the Behringer UB-1 Micro, which finally arrived, and this video is my first proper chance to sit down and see what the UB-1 has to offer. The UB-1 is a monophonic synth, meaning it can play only one note at a time. So it's not the synth for big fat chords. So first up, we can select our presets using our select control here. So we have 32 of them. And some of them actually sound quite interesting, and they show roughly the capabilities of nice. So it shows the capabilities of the UB-1 quite well. We have our filter, cutoff resonance, and that can get quite raunchy. In settings, we can adjust our keyboard range. Here we're at -2, and if we use our A parameter, we can go to -3, and we can go to +2. And then if we change, so we're +2 at the moment, and if I change my preset to this one, and I go back into settings, we're now on -1. So it seems the octave setting is stored with your preset, which is kind of handy. Beyond that, we have MIDI and Sussex information. Nothing exciting. So if we come into our ARP, we have on our A parameter our enable. We have a hold on our B parameter. Then on the next page, we have our scaling. We have our ARP direction, so let me put it on the hold and we'll play a chord. So we'll do it. So up and down, up, down, up and down. Next page, we have our sync source and our tempo. And then the next page we have our gate and our swing. Turn this off, and the only thing it doesn't have is the chord function that the JT4000 and the Pro VS has. So maybe a future update will bring in that chord function. I don't know if anybody likes it. It's kind of handy. So the oscillator section gives us 2 DCOs, and we have 3 waveforms. So we have a sawtooth, a triangle, and then we have square wave with pulse width. So then we have 2 of those. We also have our tuning, so we can coarse and fine tune it. Then after that we have our sync, whether we're going to sync the 2 oscillators together. And then the next page we have our sub function with a level. Let me bring the octave up a little bit here. Try this. And then bring the sub up. noise. And back to sub. And then lastly, then we can go in and we can rename it when we want to store it. In the modulation section, we have two LFOs, and again we have our triangle, our sawtooth, our triangle, and our square wave, and then we have a rate and amount for each of them. LFO1 is for pitch. Let me take off LFO2 for a second here. Let's go back to LFO1, and you can hear it's modulating the pitch. And then if we go to LFO2, and that modulates our filter. The VCF has our ADSR, our attack, decay, sustain, release, and our amount of how much the filter gets affected. And then we also have an oscillator 2 amount, which is applied to oscillators to fine tuning. So let's just have a little look here. So we have, let me open the filter, and then let's give it a slow attack. And then a fast attack. And lastly, the VCA mix gives us our amp envelope. So we have our attack, a decay, sustain, release. We have a mix level for the volume. And we have our balance. So 99 would be all of oscillator 2. 0 is all of oscillator 1. And then 50 would be about a blend of both. And then obviously our attack decay, we can change how fast it. So slow attack, fast attack, and let's do a long release. Short release. There you go. Okay. So we have a fairly boring patch. We're going to go in settings. We're going to find initialize. We're going to press enter. And we have, let's go into our oscillators. So our oscillator 1, actually let me go into VCA mix. I'm going to take the balance all the way to 0, bring that level up, and we should only hear oscillator 1. Go back to oscillator. And we have sawtooth, sawtooth, then we have a triangle wave, and then we have our pulse width, so let's maybe start with that. We'll go into oscillator 2, go over to my mix, let's have a listen to oscillator 2. Oscillator 2, square wave. Let's maybe start with that. Let's blend them together. (50-50) blend. Let's take one, we'll add a little detune. Let's see if we go up an octave. Back down. Let's have a little, have we got anything? Oh yeah, we go into sync. Let's sync it. no sync, sync. I like the sync off. Adds a little bit more detune. Then if we come in, we'll go to our noise. And then we'll change this to sub. And the sub oscillator is controlled by oscillator 1. So if we go to oscillator 1 and I change this to a different one, our sub will change also. Let me bring that sub level up so we can hear it. And change oscillator 1. So and then if I take the sub off again, let's have a little look in the modulation. So LFO1, let's go for square wave just so it makes it a little bit more noticeable what's happening. So square wave, we'll go full rate, 50% on the, 50% rate, full amount. And then we can slow that down or make it crazy fast. And then obviously we can change the amount, so let's take it more sensible. Let's take that off for a second. We'll go to LFO2, we'll go square wave again, and let's give it full amount, about 50% rate. And you can hear it affecting the cutoff on the filter. Bring the amount down. Speed the rate up. Slow it down. So then let's add a little bit of LFO2 into the mix. So let's do the pitch again. We'll go about 50%. Let's have a look here, change this rate. Oh, it's at 39, let's make the other one 39, make them sync. Let's change one so it's half of that. What would that be? Say 19. Then we have our VCF, so we can add a little bit of a attack to our filter, which is being modulated over here. So let's take some of this off. We'll do that, and we'll do that. Go back to your filter, give it some amount. Long attack, some decay. Give it a sustain level. like about the filter is it goes quite thin. Oh, and squeegee. Seems to lose a lot of the bottom end. And then we go into our VCA mix. We can add a little envelope to the front of it. So let's go back to our VCF. We'll give the attack a fast attack. And in the VCA, let's bring that so we have a slow attack. And let's give it so we have a long release. And we'll go to the VCF, change the release there too. Let's go drop our octave down a little bit. We'll speed up our attack a little bit. Bring in some crazy modulation again. LFO2 and LFO1. Let's go back and we'll give it a little extra sub-level. And let's tune one of these waves up an octave. Good fun. Take this off again. And that off. Let's have a little quick look at the ARP. And then we'll go gate, shorten that down. Come into our VCA, take some of the release off. Give it some swing. Bring some modulation back in. Well, that's the Behringer UB-1 Micro. So far, the initial impression is pretty good. It has some cool sounds, fairly easy to navigate. Thanks for watching.